Yeah. Yeah, I believe that everything is okay now. I'm back again. I'm back again, guys. And I believe that everything is swatwala, swatwala swinene. So ringeteni ku endla metse lowani. Okay. So today we are dealing with geometry of straight lines. Geometry of straight lines. Leswi hi lavaka ku vulavulaka hi swona namuntlha. And tshemba ku swa tikomba swinene. Tshemba ku swa tikomba kahle swinene. Geometry of straight lines. Hi leswi hi lavaka ku vulavulaka hi swona namuntlha. Geometry of straight lines. So please guys, a hi yimeni nyana timinutes timbirhi tinharhu hi yimela lavan'wani va nghena ivi hi tirha ku ya mahlweni. Let me just wait for a few minutes. I'm waiting for others to join here. Just waiting for others to join. Okay. Just waiting for others to join. Okay, we're gonna have problems. Yeah. My charger is not waking properly. But I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to charge my phone. It wasn't charging. I'm gonna talk charge your phone. No? Okay. Yeah, now the cell phone is charging. Now the cell phone is charging. It means we can start now. All right, I sungulile guys. Geometry of straight lines se na sungula ne. I hope un'wana na un'wana wa karhi wa swi vona, right? Hi lava ku dila geometry of straight line. And ni believe ku ri se mi nga va mi sungulini. Se mi nga va mi sungulini. So in this case, number one, it will be lines and angles. Lines and angles. Lines and angles. Okay. So the lines and angles. I love the lines and angles. So in this case, guys, sena sungula ku explain ne. Ka geometry of straight lines. Inati lines and angles. And number one, under the lines and angles, let me just use A, okay? We have angles on a straight line. Angles on a straight line. We do have angles on a straight line, okay? So, cut the angles on a straight line. Let's cut the angles on a straight line. Has tiva ku the angle ta hina they add up to 180 degrees. Loko tshuka hi vina ti angles on a straight line, angles ta hina, they add up to 180 degrees. E.g., an example, in this case, loko hi nyikete line ku va ku ri luwa I va fika laha va ku hi na ti-angles timbirhi, hi na angle A hi tlhela hi va na angle B. Ti-angle letimbirhi leti, these are the two angles on a straight line, okay? Straight line what? A, B, C. Is straight line line one. So loko hi ri na ti-angles on a straight line A, B, C, ku nga small letter A and small letter B, hi tirhisa ti-variables letiyani. So hi ta fika hi ku yini laha? Hi ri angle A plus angle B, it is equals to 180 degrees. So ka geometry hi tsala statement lexi fambaka na reason. Ha twanana ne? There must be a reason for writing this statement. Hi swi vitana statement leswi. A plus B, it is equals to 180 degrees. Why hi vula leswi na ka statement? It is because we do have what? Angles. Let me just use a symbol. Angles on a STR line. Okay, so I reason ya kona leyo fanele ku yi tsala wena. U ta fika wini angles on a straight line. So it's angles on a STR. STR is to represent straight line. So an example in this case, an example it can be if this is 45 degrees and they're saying determine the value of x. The value of x in this case, hi ta fika hi ku yini na? Hi ta fika hi ku hi na x plus man 45 degrees. It is equals to what? 180 degrees. I statement lexiwani. Lexi I statement lexi. So lexi hi fanele ku xi endla, hi ya tsala reason ya hina, kambe reason ya hina nte I yini? I angles on a STR what? Line. Angles on a straight line. I reason ya leyi hi fanele ku yi tsala. So statement lexiwani xi famba na reason. Laha hi ta fika hi solver for x. So x will be equal to 180 degrees minus 45 degrees. Swi komba ku 45 degrees leyi se yi japini ta hala ka right hand side. Okay, so hi ba hi calculator hina, loko hi ba hi calculator hi kuma yini na? Hi ba hi calculator hi ya kuma yini? It's 180 degrees minus 45. Okay, 180 degrees minus what? 45. Ya kuma man 135 degrees. Swi komba ku x ya hina la I 135. Hi le ku kumaneni ne? Ya vulavula yini? Hi ti angles on a straight what? Line. Angles on a straight line. So the angles on a straight line, they add up to 180 degrees. Let's move to B. Let's move to B. B na yini? Ka B, hi na angles around a point. Angles around a point. Angles around a point in this case, hi la ku vulavula yini na? Ha swi tiva ku angles around a point, they add up to what? They add up to 360 degrees. Okay, ha twanana ni? They add up to 360 what? Degrees. So in this case, loko ho va hi ri na point la, these are your angles. These are your angles. We have this angle A, or a line A, B, C, and this is D. So we do have D1, D2, and D3. The angles letiwani ya D1 angle. Another angle here is D2. And the last one is D3. Atwanane, hina ti angles tinharhu la. I ti angles tinharhu leti hi nga na tona. se lexi humelelaka i yini na hi ya fika hi ku angle D1 plus angle D2 plus angle D3. Our angle D1 plus angle D2 plus angle D3, they are equal to what? Or they add up to 360 degrees. Reason ya kona yo va u vulini ku ri D1 plus D2 plus D3 it is equals to 360 degrees. Ku ta va ku ri yini reason ya kona? Hi ta fika ku yini? Angles around a point. Angles around a point, PT. So i reason ya wena leyi. Angles around a point. So D1 plus D2 plus D3, it is equals to 300 and what? 60 degrees. So, loko va hi nyiketiwile va hi byela okay. Let me not use this Cartesian plane. I wanted to use only three lines. Leti nga ta fika ti hi nyiketa yini. Lava ti line leti nga ta fika ti hi nyiketa ti-angle tinharhu leti ti nga ta ringana na 360 ne. Swi komba ku laha ni ta fika ni ku yini ma ni hundzuluxa phepha hi leswi. Example ya hina ku ta ku ri leyi. Loko wo fika la va fika va ku hi na E. Let's say this is 138 degrees, and then this one here maybe it's 108 degrees, and that's saying we need to determine the value of x. Okay, we need to determine the value of x. Okay, we have something like this. So this is PQR. It will have of course we now 138 degrees, and then this one is 145 degrees, and determine x. Very lava x la. Hilava x. You get to angle man 138. You get to angle x. You get to man. You get to 145 degrees. So now we are to determine angle x. So in this case, you are going to say angle x plus 138 degrees plus 145 degrees. Siringana na yini na 360 degrees. Atwanana ne. Skomba ku la ita fika kwini. Ita fika tsala reason kwini. These are angles around a what? A point. PT. Atwanana ne. So these are the angles around what? Around a point. Therefore, from this part now, you can add the like terms. Okay. To add the like terms, in this case, we're going to say 138 plus 145. So this will be x. It is equals to 360 degrees minus what? The sum of these two. Kunga 283 degrees. If you lie, subtract 283 kaman ka 360, okay? You subtract ka 360. Sikoma kula kumamani 77 what? Degrees. Sikoma kuli angle ya x la is 77 degrees. Himaku hina yini? Angles around what? Around a point. Atwanana ne. So, hi leswi a ni la ta vulavula hi swona ku ri ti-angles leti nharhu hi vulavula hi revolution around a point. Atwanana ne. All right. Let's move to number 3. With the number 3, we do have what? The intersecting lines. Intersecting lines. So when two lines cross each other, they form vertical opposite angles. When two lines does what? Cross each other. So this is A, B, C, D, and what? And E. This is point what? E. So they are crossing at E. Line AC intersect or cross the other at point E. No swone ne. So loko ti cross ka point E, swi komba ku laha ta va na E1, E2, E3, E4. I ti-angles letiya hinkwato le ku swi voneni ne. So lexi xi vulaka hi lexi hi ringeta ku vula ku angle E1, our angle E1, this angle here, it is equals to angle E3, equals to angle E3. Why hi vula leswi na? I mhaka ku hi na yini? Op angles hi leya reason ya kona. Vertical opposite angles. Even if awu hi byeli ku they are equal, we know that loko u fika u ku vert opposite angles, a swi tiva ku ri the vert opposite angles are equal. So reason ya kona u yi ba hi ri shortcut kwini vert op what? Angles. The very same thing applies to what? To E2. Our E2 ya ringana na mani na E4. E2 it is equals what? E4. Why ku E2 ya ringana na E4? I mhaka ku ri na yini? Vert opposite what? Angles. Done. So statement xin'wana na xin'wana xi famba na reason ya xona. Example, e.g., if you are given two lines which are intersecting at a certain point, and this P, Q, R, S, T, this T1, T2, T3, T4, and they're saying your T1, it is equals to 48 degrees. It means that this 48 degrees, it is equals to what? T3, which is equals to 48 degrees. Why ku T3 ya ringana na 48 degrees na? I mhaka ku hi na a vert op what? Angles. Vertical what? Opposite angles are what? Are equal. Do not forget this. Swi important ngopfu loko kha u tsala ka exam. A hi moveni nakambe hi ya ka number 4. Ka number 4 hi sorry guys, tani khomela nyana la ntiko. Sorry. I'm just from India. I'm just from India. I'm done khomela guys. I'm done khomela. Swa bedanyana today. I'm just from India. Ta kombe ku what's happening with this cell phone. It's from being jail, man. But anyway, let me finish up. It's from being jail, guys. That's from being jail. But anyway, it's fine. Tanan. La. On the got the complementary angles. Got the complementary angles. Complementary angles. Hi vulavula hi ti angles timbirhi leti loko hi ti add ti nyiketa ku 90 degrees. So here we're talking about two angles whose sum is 90 degrees. Meaning that if ever you are given something like this and they're saying this is 90 degrees and there is a line dividing this 90 degrees, here not A, here not B, here not C, here not D. If this is X and Y, so angle X plus angle Y, they ringana na 90 degrees. Why X plus Y they ringana 90 degrees now? We know that these two angles are what? Are complementary angles. Their sum is 90 degrees. So the reason for writing this, it will be complementary what? Angles. Okay. So ka example, lowa ku nyiketini va kwa hi na ti angle timbirhi. Va ku byela ku angle leyiwani it's 45 degrees. 45 degrees. If I could determine angle X. So let us go X plus 45 degrees. It is equals to 90 degrees. Why fanekele hi vula leswi na? I mhaka ku do have what? The complementary what? Angles. So these complementary angles, they what? They add up to 90 degrees. Actually, their sum is 90 degrees. So X will be equals to 90 minus 45 degrees. And then we are getting what? 45 what? Degrees. Okay. Sometimes they can use 30. Sometimes they can use 30, okay? Sometimes they can use 30. And that's saying this is 30 degrees. And determine Y. So in this case, you're going to say Y plus 30 degrees, it is equal to 90 degrees. And then you write a reason. Our reason in this case, it will be complementary what? Angles. Now you solve for Y. Y will be equal to 90 degrees minus 30 degrees. And then we're getting what? 60 what? Degrees. So this is how you can solve the angle, letting it like a complementary. Okay, let's move to the parallel lines. We are moving to the parallel lines. Parallel lines. Got the parallel lines. Yini ngana so. Got the parallel lines ka humelela yini? Hi na swilo leswi hi swi vitanaku fan. Fan like this. Fan. Okay. So our F here, it represent what? Our F, number 1, F, it represents the corresponding angles. Okay, if this is A, B, C, D, E, we know that the line AB is parallel to CD. So if line AB is parallel to CD, the angle A, na angle DCE, the angle letimbiri. These are the corresponding angles. F yi komba the corresponding angles. Swi komba ku angle A lesekile a ku ri C1 na C2. Swi komba ku la ta fika hi kwini angle A ya ringana na C1 na C2 ku nga this angle. These two angles are equal. Why the angle letimbirhi ti ringana na? Hi mhaka ku these are the corresponding angles. Hi ti vona hi yini? Hi F shape. Corresponding angle. So you are going to write CRRS angles inside the brackets. Here angle A ya ringana na angle C2. Hi mhaka yini? It is corresponding angles. Meaning that if you are given something like this, and that's saying this is 90 degrees, this is 90 degrees, and then now they're saying determine X, okay, and they're told that these lines are parallel. It's P, Q, R, S, T. So X will be equal to angle 90 degrees. Why X is 90 degrees? These are the corresponding what? Angles. Okay. If the corresponding angles, why could the corresponding angles? Ima ku PQ half tiva ku yi parallel na man na RS. The very same thing applies this one. If you say it's corresponding, it means you're going to say AB is parallel to what? To CD. You will be told that the two lines are parallel. If ever you're not told that the two lines are parallel, it means that you cannot conclude by saying we have the corresponding angles. We only have corresponding angles if ever there are two lines which are parallel. Okay, let's move to number 2. Number 2, it will be a U shape like this. So if this A, B, C, D and AB is parallel to CD, we know that angle B plus angle C, they add up to 180 degrees. So angle B plus angle C, it is equals to 180 degrees. Why angle B na angle C tingana 180 degrees? I mhaka ku leti I ti co-int angles. No ka ni nga hetisangi ku tsala ku ri these are co-interior angles. We know that the co-interior angles, they add up to 180 degrees. For example, if you are given a U shape like this, so this is W, X, Y, Z. And then we know that WY is parallel to XZ. Angle X is 66 degrees. What about angle W? Our angle W in this case, it will be W plus 66 degrees. It is equals to 180 degrees. Why? Fanakele is na. Imagine coint angles. Just to cut it short, right? So now you can solve for W. Our W in this case, it will be equals to 180 degrees minus 66 degrees. 180 minus 66 what? Degrees. So this is 114 degrees. Okay. So this is how you can deal with the co-interior angles. Number 3. This is an N shape. Or sometimes we can call it a Z what? Shape. So here you will be given that this M and P. Q R S T. Like the alternate angles. Got the alternate angles. After angle M. Yariga na angle man na angle O. And the tawa jeluinu kumline lewan yi parallel. So that's got angle M. Yaringa na angle what? O. Why angle M na angle O? This is because we have what? Alt angles. The very same thing applies to this Z shape. So that's why I said we're going to deal with fan. It is because sometimes the Z shape, it can be in the form of N. So now, our angle R, it is equal to angle S. Why do you say this? Alt angles. Do not forget to write the reasons. The corresponding to co-interior, not alternate angles. So now, let's move to the triangles. Triangles. In the triangles, we know that if ever you want to calculating the third angle of any triangle, calculating the third angle of any triangle. If you are given triangle A, B, C, and that's saying you need to determine the third angle of a triangle. Angle A plus angle B plus angle C, it is equal to 180 degrees. So these are what are sum of angles in a triangle. Or sometimes you can say angles of a triangle. All right. If this is 40, this is 71 degrees. And that's saying determine C. It means you are going to substitute C there. Angle A is 40 degrees plus angle B is 71 degrees plus C, which is 100 and what? 80 degrees. So now we add the like terms. 40 plus 71. 40 plus 71. If kuma 1111. So angle C, it is close to 180 degrees minus 111. So angle C, it will be equal to 69. So this is how you can determine what? This is how you can determine the third angle of a triangle. Not all wrong, guys. But let's try to finish up now. La, I do not calculate the third angle of a triangle. You want and one. Let's move to the exterior angle of a triangle. Exterior angle of a triangle. The exterior angle of a triangle, you will be given a shape like this. And this angle R1, R2. Angle P is X, angle Q is Y. The exterior angle, blah blah angle handle ka triangle 1, triangle PQR. Here angle ya ringana the sum of the two opposite interior angles. Scope of R2 will be equal to X plus Y. So this will be the exterior angle of a what? Of a triangle. Meaning that if ever you are given A, B, C, D, and this is 135 degrees, and then you are told that this is 75 degrees, determine the value of X. To determine the value of X in this case, you are going to say 135 degrees, it is equal to X plus 75 degrees. Why do you say this? Exterior angle of what? Of a triangle. So now you can solve for X. So this will be X, it is equal to 135 minus 75 degrees. And then now we got 135 minus 75, we got 60 degrees. It means that angle X, it is equal to what? 60 degrees. Okay, let's move. Let's move to an isosceles triangle. The isosceles triangle. In an isosceles triangle, you'll be given two adjacent sides which are equal. A, B, C. You will be told that the side AB it is equal to the side what? AC. So in this case, if we know that these two adjacent sides are equal, swi hi komba kahle ku ri angle B na angle C na to ta fika ti endla yini? Ti ta fika ti ringana. So these are the base angles of an isosceles triangle. So you will be saying angle B it is equal to angle C. Why do you say that angle B is equal to angle C? Loko nyike tuma set mambirhi ma ringanaka swi komba ku ti-angle leti nge le ka base ta ringana. So reason ya ku ta ku ri yini? Angles opposite equal what? Sides. Angles opposite equal sides. Meaning that if this was your triangle and this PQR, and then we are told that PR it is equal to QR, and angle Q here is 30 degrees, and that's the determine P. To determine P in this case, you're going to say P it is equal to 30 degrees. Why P ringana 30 degrees now? It is because we do have what? Angles opposite equal what? Equal sides. Okay, so P it is equal to 30 degrees. We are done with the isosceles. Let's move to the equilateral what? Triangles. Ka equilateral triangle, we know that triangle ABC, if AC it is equal to BC equals to AB, all these sides are equal. So it means that even the angles are what? Are equal. No swanene. All the angles are what? Are equal. Inside the what? The equilateral what? Triangle. So right now we can try and answer some questions. Okay? Then khomele guys, is no karala. Karele ngopfu man. Karele swinene lera ko. Na class leyi a yi fa yi nga va kona ni endla kha ni khatlela. So ni ta kombela ku hi ta swi vona mundzuku kahle kahle hi mhaka ku namuntlha le ku buweni vurhongo byin'wana ni koti ku twisisa ku humelela but anyway hi zamile hi nga zama kona. Zamile hi nga zama kona and let's call it a day, people. Let's call it a day. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.